Okay. So let's start with today's talk. I myself am Sourayan Banerjee. So I'm pursuing PhD from IISER Bhopal currently. I'm currently in my third year, and I'm the Cheenta College Math Administrator. So today's talk, as you can see in the headline, it's discussion on the competitive exams for the masters or IPhD selection. So IPhD is the integrated PhD program, that is an program that is designed for students who are interested in MSc plus PhD. Okay, so most of the institutes, whoever gives or whoever takes students for the IPhD program, the program usually runs for 6 to 7 years. So it's designed like that, and masters in mathematics is practically the 2 years course that we all know a master's, how a master's is. So so let's first have a look at the abstract of today's talk. So this talk will be, as I have mentioned right now, so this talk will be focused on what to do after completing a BSc honors in mathematics if you're interested in pure mathematics. Okay. So most of this talk will be focused around the competitive exams for the institutes that generally takes in students for higher studies in mathematics for pure mathematics. So then what are the competitive exams that the aspiring students should eye for, and what is the syllabus for that? In general, what is the syllabus, and what are the top Indian institutes that you should eye for? Lastly, we will see that how the Cheenta College Math program is built to support support the students who are aspiring to clear these type of competitive exams. Okay, so with this overview in our mind, let's just start our talk. So exams to prepare after BSc. So these are the top 5 exams that you should prepare after BSc. Okay, so the first is, so I have tried to note them down in an order which in an order like the exams happen in real time. Okay, so, and of course, if you guys have any questions, I would like to answer them after my slide presentation. So if you are having some questions in your mind, you're free to write them down in your notes, and I would be happy to uh, take your questions after I'm finished with my presentation. So as you can see, the first question is the first competitive exam that we should eye for is the TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. Second is NBHM, that is the National Board of Higher Mathematics. That's so you need to clear NBHM. So that's the primary level exam to get a call from the Institute of Mathematical Sciences and the Harishchandra Research Institute. Of course, then we have IIT JAM. So IIT JAM is the primary level exam to clear to get a call from IISc and IISERs and IITs, of course. So IISc and IISERs, we will see that they offer an integrated PhD course, whereas IITs itself offer a master's course. So then I have the IISI, Indian Statistical Institute, and CMI, Chennai Mathematical Institute. So let's review these competitive exams and how they, what are the syllabuses and what are the patterns of these competitive exams. So first, as we know, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, TIFR. So this is an integrated PhD program. So TIFR offers an integrated PhD program that is masters plus PhD. Okay. So TIFR conducts their written exam usually on December week. So selected candidates are called for an interview in TIFR Bombay or in TIFR CAM. Okay. So TIFR CAM is situated in Bangalore. So that's the center of applied mathematics, and TIFR Bombay is where you pursue integrated PhD in pure mathematics. Okay. So the written exam is a single written exam. From there, two separate lists. So two separate lists are given, or they announced two separate lists for people who are selected for interviews in TIFR Bombay and TIFR CAM. So the exam pattern for TIFR, so it usually consists of two parts, so MCQs and true and false. So mostly part A consists of MCQs and part B consists of true and false. But also there is no fixed pattern of TIFR, because in 2017 part B consisted of subjective questions. Okay, so but mostly it consists of MCQs and true false. So as we have seen, like TIFR CAM, so this is Center of Applied Mathematics situated in Bangalore. It's a premier institute for students to pursue an integrated PhD program in applied mathematics. So again, I'm repeating that the written exam is the same exam to get selected for TIFR CAM or TIFR Bombay. Okay, so they will separately publish their selected candidates list, and then it's your choice. I mean, if you're interested in pure mathematics, you should opt for TIFR Bombay. If you're interested in applied mathematics, you should opt for TIFR Center of Applied Mathematics, that's in Bangalore. So I have actually also added the TIFR official site link. You can explore, you can explore everything that TIFR has to offer from their official websites. And the previous year question papers, syllabus, entire thing is available in their official website, and it's quite well made. Of course, it's a premier Indian institute. So if you're interested, you can visit their official site link. So after Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, that mostly happens on December, we have the NBHM exam for IMSc and HRI. So the NBHM exam, so NBHM is National Board of Higher Mathematics. Okay, so they conduct this exam. Now, this is something that you should watch out for, that NBHM also conducts an exam for students who are applying for master's fellowship. Okay, so that is usually held on September. But the exam that we are talking about now, so this exam is held on January. So NBHM, this is the IPhD program exam. Okay, so National Board of Higher Mathematics conducts a written exam usually on January for the selection of candidates for the IPhD program. Okay, so the exam pattern has mostly been selection wise. So there has been only one paper in NBHM which is not section wise. It's the paper 2020, and it's not at all section wise. It's a complete list of questions, but mostly NBHM has been like this. So yes, of course, I'm also repeating that if you have some questions, I'd like to attend them at the end of my presentation. Okay, so if you are having some questions right now, I would very much like to attend them, but it would be great if you just hold on till the end of the presentation. Okay, so the exam pattern has mostly been section wise. So the section, there are actually 5 sections in NBHM exam. So the sections are like this: algebra, analysis, topology, calculus and differential equations, then the miscellaneous section. So these are the 5 sections mostly will be given in any NBHM written exam test. So the assessment is based on the best 4 sections. So you are free to You are free to answer all the questions, but best of so the best 4 section will be counted, okay, as your evaluation. Now, after you have successfully cleared the written exam, the candidates are called for an interview by the Institute of Mathematical Sciences, that is situated in Chennai, and Harishchandra Research Institute (HRI), that is situated in Allahabad. And since the head, as the heading says, that these both are IPHD programs, so masters plus PhD. Okay, so just like TIFR, I add the NBHM official website here. These official website also has previous year questions, syllabus, and whatever you want to know about the NBHM exam. So so there are 2 key points to remember here, that NBHM exam is for integrated PhD program. I mean, if you are applying after bachelor's, after your bachelor's, and this is the exam that we're talking about usually occurs on January. So we are not talking about the September. We're not talking about the NBHM exam that is usually held on September, which is for the master's scholarship test. So it's for students who are applying for scholarships in their master's degree. Okay, so after NBHM, so we have an exam in December, in January, then we have practically the most popular among all these exams in terms of students applying is the IIT JAM. Okay, so IIT JAM Masters and Integrated PhD program. So IIT JAM is widely sought after because of the reason is there are 3 big places you can go if you clear IIT JAM. So of course, after getting a good enough rank, you can do a master's in IITs. If you have a very good rank, you will be called by IISc, the Indian Institute of Science, and also to get an admission as an integrated PhD student in the IISER, the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. So which are now the integrated PhD programs are getting offered in Pune, Mohali, Bhopal, Kolkata, Trivandrum, Berhampur, Tirupati. Okay, so all these institutes, I mean, IIT JAM is the base level exam for all these institutes. Okay, so IIT JAM is held during the first week of February. It is one of the most popular master's level competitive exams in India. IITs and IIScs take turns to set up the exams each year. Okay, so like if this year so in 2021 IISc set the question paper. So next year some other IIT will set the question paper. Okay, so the setting of question paper varies in each year. So whoever sets the question paper, that institute varies in each year. So now if we want to talk about the IIT JAM question pattern, so the IIT JAM question pattern is kind of like the JEE pattern that we know from our early plus 2 level. So this exam paper consists of 60 questions that are divided between 3 sections. So section A, it consists of 30 MCQs. Section B, 10 MSQs. So section B is something that is really tricky because this is multiple select questions. Okay, so multiple select questions means more than one option might be correct. And section C is section C consists of 20 numerical answer type questions, so NAT. So that means like every answer will be numerical. Okay, so now if you want to so if you are interested in doing a master's in IIT, it's great if you get a rank between 200. Okay, so getting a rank between 200 guarantees a spot in IITs. So if you are interested in pure maths, IIT Kanpur, Delhi, Madras, these are highly sought after IITs for doing masters in pure maths. So if you have cleared IIT JAM, now from there you can actually carve a path. If you're interested in an integrated PhD program, you can actually carve a path to IISc and IISERs. So depending upon your rank, IISc selects certain candidates and they are called for interviews. There are no specific cutoff for that selection for IISc, but it would be great if you get a rank between 40 to 50. Okay, so at max 50. So probably so the less your rank is, the better for getting a chance at an interview at IISc. Okay, so for IISERs, Pune, Bhopal, Mohali, Kolkata, Trivandrum, Berhampur, Tirupati, all these institutes also this column in their forms for IPHT, that what is your IIT JAM rank. So it matters. All right. So depending on your IIT JAM rank and your BSc scores, IISERs will also. So there is no single chart to get enlisted in every IISER. Okay. So each of the IISERs will individually publish their shortlisted candidates. This year, some of the IISERs have not published their integrated PhD shortlisted candidates. They have mailed them personally, but mostly what happens is there will be a shortlisted candidates for every IISER, and from there you will be asked to appear in an interview. And after that, you will be selected based on your performance in the interviews. So one key thing to note here is that IISc and IISERs, both of them offer integrated PhD program in mathematics. Okay, so there are of course integrated PhD. One of the good things about integrated PhD program is that the moment you are enlisted as an integrated PhD student at IISc or IISERs, you have a fellowship. Okay, so it depends on institutes as well, but the least fellowship is 10,000 per month. So after that, when you get admitted in the same institute as a PhD student, your fellowship will follow the standard CSIR UGC protocol. Okay, but that's one of the upsides in IPhD program. So IIT JAM official website for 2021. So that is something that you can go and look for it. Previous year question papers are there, and there are two main things you should keep in your mind whenever you are preparing for IIT JAM, is that there are three big areas you can actually go from by clearing IIT JAM. One is IITs, another one is IISc, another one is IISERs. Okay, all right. So after IIT JAM, we have one of the most prestigious mathematical institutes in India, that is the Indian Statistical Institute, IISI. So IISI offers MMath program. So it's an integrated PhD program. It's an MMath program. So as we all know that IISI do not require any introduction. The exam is usually held in between April to June. Mostly it is in May end or June. It's mostly in that area. So the MMath program is offered in alternate year. So at Bangalore or Kolkata. Okay, so this year it was offered at Kolkata, the MMath program. So next year it will be offered at Bangalore. Okay, so this is the alternate year. And the question pattern for Indian Statistical Institute is kind of the same pattern as we have seen for the +2 level as well. So mostly the patterns are this, but of course these type of institutes might very well change their patterns as well. But this is the pattern that they have mostly followed. That there are practically 2 steps: an objective paper of 30 questions and then a subjective paper of 8 questions. Okay, so the cutoff varies from time to time for the written exam, but if I may be so bold, the safe cutoff is for the objective question 26 to 27, for the subjective question 6 questions, 6 to 7 questions. Okay, so if these are correct, then you are actually in the safe zone. Of course, there's no telling how much will be the cutoff, but this is a safe zone that you can find yourself in if you're interested in the MMath program of Indian Statistical Institute. So I have attached the IISER official website here. It will show. Yeah, so that's the IISER official website. Previous year question paper, sample or model question paper, syllabus, everything is attached there. So after IISER, we have CMI, the Chennai Mathematical Institute. So Chennai Mathematical Institute is one of those prestigious institutes in India that people dream to study. I mean, people dream of studying at CMI. If you are a mathematician particularly, I think we all know what CMI has to offer. So just like TI for ISC, IISERs, ISI, CMI is also one of the premier institutes that is very much focused on mathematical areas. Okay, so CMI is one of the most prestigious institutes in India, no denying that. It offers the master's degree in both pure and applied mathematics. Okay, but the exams are usually held on May, but the papers are different for pure and applied mathematics entrance test. So we will be focused on the pure mathematics entrance test. So there is a pattern that Chennai Mathematical Institute always follow, but it might vary from time to time. But the general pattern is something like this: that there will be questions, objective type of questions, which you will be also asked to give a short explanation to your answer, and then there will be a subjective. There will be a collection of subjective questions. So one thing that you should also keep in mind for the Chennai Mathematical Institute pure math exam is that this is the same written exam, or this is the same question paper the PhD students are also having for their admission. Okay, so in the question paper, whenever you are appearing for CMI, it's mandatory to go through the instructions very carefully, because the PhD and the master's question paper is the same. So there are certain questions they will precisely mention in their that in their instruction, that these are the questions precisely designed for the PhD level candidates. Okay, so that's CMI. We have their official website as well. You can go and see their official website and get more acquainted with how CMI actually operates. Okay, so now what we will see in very short is that what are the general syllabus for a pure math entrance test. Okay, so general syllabus for a pure math entrance test means that I will try to focus on the broader areas of mathematics which are absolutely essential for any of the previously mentioned competitive exam tests. Okay, so it's like that. If we want to sum up the syllabus for these entrance exams, so it's it's like we can divide them into 5 separate sections. Okay, so the first section is linear algebra. So linear algebra consists of matrix operations, vector spaces, subspaces, linear transformation, diagonalizability, inner product spaces, all these things. Okay, so linear algebra is one of the most essential section for a math competitive entrance test. Okay, so for the master's level, I mean, not even in the master's level, even if you are giving uh, even if you're appearing for competitive exams at a level higher than masters as well, linear algebra is essential. So after linear algebra, we have the abstract algebra. So the abstract algebra, group and ring, these two things are absolutely essential, but fields are not that much of an absolute necessity apart from the introduction to fields. Okay, so like introduction to fields means the chapters like what are the irreducible polynomials. So just like if you take a real qx. Okay, so when q is a field, if you take the polynomials over qx, then will x square plus 1 be a irreducible polynomial over qx or not? So what are the field extensions, algebraic extensions, and these things? Okay, so these are the introduction to fields. But group and ring, so group and ring are absolutely essential. So this is the abstract algebra section, and I think groups, subgroups, normal subgroups, homomorphisms, isomorphisms, Silo theorems, these are the absolute necessary things to follow whenever you are trying to uh, appear for a competitive math entrance test. And in ring theory, the rings, subrings, especially the quotient rings and the isomorphisms. Okay, so especially the quotient rings and the isomorphisms are important for this master's level entrance tests, because every now and then you will find a quotient ring and they will kind of try to taunt you like this, that will this be a field, will this be an integral domain, it's like that. Okay, so after this we have real analysis and point set topology. Okay, so real analysis and point set topology doesn't need any introduction, right? So real analysis is the very first thing that we get acquainted with once we enter in BSc mathematics, like all these epsilon, deltas, and whatnot, right? So real analysis and point set topology. So the point set topology is like this, that uh, the open set, closed sets, limit points, compact sets, connected sets, all these things falls under the section of point set topology. And real analysis is, of course, the analysis of real numbers and real valued functions, right? So limit, continuity, differentiability, sequence and series of functions, Riemann integration, all these things. I mean, the entire package. So after this, we have something that is really necessary for mostly two of the exams. So multivariable calculus and differential equations is an absolute necessity for IIT JAM. If you go through the TIFR question paper, you will not see that much of questions from multivariable calculus. So multivariable calculus is where you learn about directional derivatives, total derivatives. You learn about continuity of functions of several variables, gradient, divergence, curl, all these things. If you look at it very closely, these are really, I mean, like IIT JAM thrives on these things. So if you go through an IIT JAM previous year question paper, you are bound to find a lots of multivariable calculus and differential equation questions. And this multivariable calculus and differential equation, this part is apart from IIT JAM. This is very important for the NBHM entrance test as well. So as you know that the NBHM entrance tests also has a separate section for this calculus and differential equations. Okay, but but apart from that, neither in ISI or CMI or TIFR, these exams do not heavily rely on multivariable calculus and differential equations. And then we have the general knowledge for mathematics students, right? So permutation, combination, elementary probability, reasoning with graphs, etc. So reasoning with graphs, something that is very common in a TIFR question. Okay, so like you will be given regions in R2, and you need to be able to prove that if it is dense or if it is compact or connected, something like that. So that is the reasoning with graphs. It's really important for TI for interest test as well. So one thing, these five are the most essential. So apart from this, an introduction to complex analysis is needed for only for the NBHM math entrance test. Okay, so generally complex analysis is not required apart from the NBHM and the CMI, of course. So apart from the NBHM and CMI, there is generally no need of complex analysis, like high caliber complex analysis, but introduction to complex analysis is always welcome. So with this 5 sections, if you are if you have covered some introduction to complex analysis, then it would be good for your preparation. So after this syllabus, let us kind of see what Cheenta College Math program has to offer. Okay, so we have seen what are the best competitive level exams. We have seen their overall question pattern and their syllabus. Now we will see that how Cheenta College Math program is is constructed to give the students the best possible outcome of their cumulative effort to clear these competitive exams. Okay, so first we will start with the course structure of the Cheenta College Mathematics. So the course structure is designed in a 1 year phase. Okay, so as you have seen that there are 5 general section in the 5 general section that you need. That is the most essential, and that is mostly the syllabus for all the competitive level exams, right? So those 5 sections are covered in phase wise manner. Okay, so we produce linear algebra. So the course structures, you can kind of think it like starts with linear algebra. So March, April, May, these 3 months are dedicated for linear algebra. So now the abstract algebra portion, it is the course structure is designed in such a manner that the after linear algebra we go straight into the abstract algebra. That is from June to August. So June, July, August, we go for the abstract algebra. That is the group ring and the introduction of fields. So then real analysis and point set topology. So that's from August to November, August, September, October, November. So this is the biggest section of competitive math exams because it consists of real analysis and point set topology. Okay, so after the real analysis we go for the multivariable calculus and differential equation. So this is from December, January. So December and January we take these 2 months for multivariable calculus and differential equations. Okay, so from February onwards the exams starts taking places. In between we have section wise quizzes. So for linear algebra there will be quiz, for abstract algebra section there will be quiz, for real analysis and point set topology there will be a quiz. So each section wise there will be a quiz after the course is completed, and then from February onwards there are mock tests that will happen, and the February month is the revision month. Okay, so like whatever we have done, it usually goes in a problem solving fashion. So then from March onwards, it starts again. So from linear algebra, so from March, we start with linear algebra again. So general section, now as you can see that here I have mentioned 4 sections: linear algebra, abstract algebra, real analysis and point set topology, and multivariable calculus plus differential equations. So the general section runs side by side in plus 2 level coursework offered at Cheenta. So every college math students, they are given access to the plus 2 level, certain plus 2 level courses which are also applied to them. Okay, so this is the entire course structure that we have at Cheenta, and it is and the way classes happens are Tuesday and Sundays. Okay, so Tuesday and Sundays from 9:45 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. So 1.5 hour sessions, and there are groups where students can discuss their doubts among themselves, and also faculties are there to clear their doubts if the students are themselves unable to solve them by discussing among themselves as well. Okay, so Tuesdays we have the theoretical session, and Sundays we have the problem solving session. So mostly it happens like this: whatever we study on Tuesdays, Sunday we take a problem solving session mostly on that topic. Okay, so also revisions are in a process. Okay, so that's our entire course structure, and I think you have enjoyed, or at least it was somewhat I mean, information wise it was somewhat good for students or uh, parents, whoever are watching this video. So for more details you can always visit our official website. So official websites are, I have written the official website here. So it's cheenta.com practically. We have a very capable admin team. If you get in contact with them, so they will direct you in the correct fees. Okay, so thank you. I have almost 20 minutes now. I think I will attend any questions if you have for me. Okay, so yes, Abhishek, good evening. Okay, so books to follow. Fine. So books to follow is, so let me kind of give the answers one by one. So does HRI offer IPHD in mathematics? Yes, HRI offers integrated PhD in mathematics. Okay, so IISERs through, can anyone get into IISERs through NBHM MSc test? No. So the fact is that NBHM MSc test is not a requirement, but in the uh, form they will certainly write down the competitive exams that you have cleared, and for being a shortlisted candidate it might be handy if you have cleared other competitive exams as well. Okay, so the books to follow are, if you are interested, if you want to follow for the linear algebra, the books to follow is Friedberg in Cell Spains, that is Introduction to Linear Algebra, Linear Algebra Done Right, written by Sheldon Axler. Okay, these two are the basic books. Apart from that you can study from Herstein. Sorry, you can study from Hoffman and Kunz. That is a very good book. Artin, that's very good. For abstract algebra, Contemporary Abstract Algebra by Gallian, and Ian Herstein, Dummit Foot. So these three are the standard books to follow. For real analysis, there are many books, but two standard books to follow is Bartlett-Shepard and Rudin, Principle of Mathematical Analysis, Rudin. For point set topology, I would recommend that you go through Monkris. So the chapters, so topology by Monkris, the chapters that are that are included in syllabus for competitive exams, those chapters try to study from Monkris. Okay, so yeah, so for the course fee of Cheenta Math is we offer 4 months course. Okay, so the course is offered for 4 months, and for 4 months it is 11,800 plus something. Okay, so that's 4 months of coursework, and I think all the questions are kind of answered. We have some time. If you have any more questions, you can ask. But yeah, so again, what am I trying to convey here is that the entrance tests are exactly so. Apart from these entrance tests, we have the HCU, the Hyderabad Central University exam. Okay, so the Hyderabad Central University exam, Delhi University exam, there is an exam for, all of the central universities combined take an exam. Okay, so these are the university exams which are conducted individually as well, and Hyderabad Central University is also very good for pursuing master's level mathematics. Okay, so fine. If there are any more questions, then you can ask us, or if not, then fine. So for multivariable calculus, especially for JAM, which book to follow? Okay, so for multivariable calculus, you can follow this book, Several Variable Calculus. So the name of so you can actually follow Spivak. That's pretty good. Thomas Calculus. So the author's name is Thomas Calculus. You can actually read that as well. And there are some physics level books you can also follow. Okay, so Spivak, Thomas Calculus, these are good books. So to get an admission in IISER, one of the primary tests for IISER, is IIT JAM. So if you so Nandan and Shubham, just please give me a second. I will try to get back to your questions one by one. Okay, so for IISER, you clear IIT JAM, you fill up their forms, and depending upon your rank and your BSc level marks, you will be given a notification that you have been shortlisted or not. So that's the way you get an admission in IISER. So for complex analysis, which book? Complex analysis, you can start by reading from Conway. Okay, so Conway, there are 2 books, volume 1 and volume 2. So volume 1 and volume 2 are 2 separate books for complex analysis. But if you are learning complex analysis for the very first time, I would suggest that go with the volume 1 of the Conway's book. Conway. Okay, so the writer's name is Conway, and if you want to solve some problems as well, tough problems, go through Gamlin. Okay, so how tough is it to get into BMath IISER Bangalore? It's actually, so to be quite honest, all these exams are really tough to crack. Okay. uh, so as I have mentioned here, so let me kind of share the screen once again, just a second. So as I have mentioned in the setup, is that ISI, it is alternate years. So by if I think that you are asking for ISI Bangalore entrance, then I assume that you are appearing for the ISI entrance test next year. Okay, so it's tough, but the thing is, the 5 sections that I have mentioned, these 5 sections, if you are really comfortable in these 5 sections, then it would not be that much difficult. Okay, so these 5 sections are key to clear any competitive level exams. But yes, ISI is a little bit difficult to crack. That's true. So how to study for competitive exams? So to study for competitive exams is something that at Cheenta we generally offer. Okay, so see, we have an one year program, right? So in this 1 year program, we are trying to compress the entire course. All right. So it depends on, it would be great if you could write down in which year you are in currently at BSc. So like first year, second year, then probably I would be able to recommend you in like the way to study for competitive exam. So the basic thing to clear a competitive exams and to study how to study for competitive exams is to put in a lot of efforts. Okay, so you have to put in a lot of effort uh, in these 5 sections I'm mentioning again and again. These 5 sections are the key to clear any competitive exams: linear algebra, abstract algebra, real analysis, point set topology, multivariable calculus, and differential equations, and general. So for get a good rank in IIT JAM, to get a good rank in IIT JAM, you need to be pretty good at the multivariable calculus and differential equation section. Okay, so as you can see that the 4th section, multivariable calculus and differential equation, so this section is really important. The 4th section, multivariable calculus and differential equation, will be key to your clearing IIT JAM. So multivariable calculus, real analysis, and abstract algebra, real analysis and linear algebra, these 3 are the main points to hit for IIT JAM exam. Okay, so in abstract algebra for IIT JAM, there is only group. Okay, so no mode of abstract algebra is absolutely necessary for IIT JAM, and there are not much problems from group, whereas there are lots of problems from linear algebra, real analysis, and multivariable calculus. So mostly sequences and series, uniform continuity, sequences and series of functions, these are the these are the sections that uh, you should eye for. Okay, so for IIT JAM. All right, so in second year, fine. So if you are in second year, then you have 2 years to prepare, right? So these 5 sections you can actually so I am assuming that you haven't completed second year, so your second year is ongoing, right? So if that's so, then you have 2 years to prepare, and the 5 sections that I am repeatedly mentioning, try to break them in 3 parts. So linear algebra and abstract algebra, try to complete that in one go. Okay, so and try to solve as many problems from the books that I have prescribed, your professors have prescribed as well, and also the books that you feel that it gives you a feel towards the subject. And the basic thing is you need to put in 12 to 13 hours per day. Okay, so to clear these type of competitive exams, it's exactly you have to put in 12 to 13 hours. So in Cheenta, what we practically have is it's class theoretical session, then the problem solving session. Okay, so uh, if you get enrolled, and then if you see how uh, what happens with most of us whenever we are doing BSc is something like this, that there are we go for lots of theory, but we do not have access to the problem. We do not have access to the problem solving sessions. Okay, so but to clear competitive exams, it's absolutely necessary that you solve at least 50 to 60 problems per week. Okay, so it's absolutely necessary that you take 60 to 70 problems per week. Okay, so fine. So anyone with another questions? Yeah, sure. uh, okay, so yeah, so I think I have already mentioned how to get into IISER. So that's exactly. So I'm also an integrated PhD student. I joined as an integrated PhD student at IISER in 2016 after clearing IIT Jam and clearing their uh, written exam test. At that time, IISER Bhopal conducted a written exam test. Okay, then. So I hope that it was a good. Uh, I hope that it was a good enough informative discussion about the competitive exams to follow. So it's a very vague questions for to answer. Like if you are how we should learn mathematics is something that no one can answer, I think, possibly. So the best possible thing is, or at least the way I can only say what the way I learned, at least whatever I know today, the way I learned is that I was particularly fond of algebra from a very early level. Okay, so with algebra, I found peace. So it's kind of like that. If I solved a question, if I solved uh, a mathematical question, then it felt good. So that feeling good portion should be there. It's not like that. Even if you so to feel that goodness in your heart after solving a maths problem, it's just a second, just a second, Mon Bikash. So yeah, so as I was saying, that to clearing uh, so to have that feel good feeling, right? You need to also be frustrated as well. So it's like it goes side by side. It's a two side of a coin. So to learn mathematics, you need to fail a lot. So so as we all know that maths runs in logic, right? So there is no possible way to go from one place to the other without failing. So if you enjoy logical reasoning, then you should learn mathematics in a very natural manner. I think people should learn mathematics from a very natural perspective, not for clearing exams, for clearing for getting some certain grades and something like that. So if that is the end goal, then uh, I think that's the way you should learn mathematics. So for good problem book for analysis, there is this book by Kaczor and Nowak. Okay, so Kaczor and Nowak, they have two very good books in real analysis. So these two books are especially for problem solving. Okay, so the writers name are Kaczor and Nowak. You can find it online. So these two are very good books, good problem books for real analysis. And apart from that, I think Rudin has the principle of mathematical analysis, Rudin. So that has a bunch of good problems. So to be prepared for any competitive exams at the, at the master's level, whenever you are giving the competitive exams to get selected as a master's or integrated PhD student, you need to solve Rudin. Okay, so I think that's one of the necessary books, or the absolute necessary books to complete all the exercises, principle of mathematical analysis, Walter Rudin. And after that you can look for Jackson Novak, Bartley Shepard, some of the problems from Bartley Shepard. And uh, these three will kind of cover everything if you are looking for certain problem solving in real analysis. Okay, Manvikash. So is that good enough? Fine. All right, so we have a little bit more time. If you have any more questions, I'm open to questions. So for number theory, I think you can follow the Barton, the number theory book by Barton. That is a good book. But after that, it will actually depend. So there is a book by Ross as well for number theory. But later you will understand that whenever you are in the master's level, you will be split into two sections: algebraic number theory or analytical number theory. Okay, so then you will probably have a lots of variety of books as well. But yeah, I think for basic level, Barton is a very good book to follow. Okay, so guarantee we will get a job definitely after joining these institutes. The straightforward answer is no. Okay, so if you are doing a master's in mathematics, then after doing masters you need to be able to able to apply for PhDs as well. But then uh, just doing a master's in pure mathematics will not guarantee you a job, will not give you any job opportunity. Okay, so that's a fact. Even after doing a PhD, so now what happened is from 2021 onwards, if you want to be an assistant professor, the benchmark has been set to PhD. So even if you are trying to find your way into academia, you have to do a PhD. And pure mathematics is an academic profession. Okay, so if you are interested in job, it would be very good if you do if you get admitted in TI for CAM. Okay, so the applied mathematics section has a lots of job opportunities rather than pure mathematics section. Okay, so the last question, let me kind of answer. How do we prepare for any interview? So let me kind of give you a very what can I say? A very brief section how interviews are made. So mostly whenever you appear for an interview, you will be asked for what your favorite topic is. So suppose you say that your favorite topic is a real analysis. Okay, so among those 5 people, there is a high chance that they will start asking you questions from real analysis, or they will start asking you questions from the exact opposite of real analysis, that is your abstract algebra. Okay, so to prepare for an interview, you need to be very good at something. You need to be very good at a topic uh, which is kind of very well known. Okay, so like if you say that I am very good at ordinary differential equations, this is not a very good thing to say in an interview. Okay, because ordinary differential equations is of course a very interesting and long section of mathematics, but interviewers, if you're applying for a pure math section, it would be really good if you have strengthen your real analysis, abstract algebra, linear algebra, or point set topology. Among these four, if you have strengthened one, so after that you need to answer very precisely. So if you do not know answer to a question, then you should politely say that this is something that I am not able to recall. Okay, and the preparation for the interviews goes like this. So you need to, you need to be able to understand where your strength lies. Exactly the one line preparation for any interviews. Okay, so today's, as my abstract says, Farquan, so Ishan, as my abstract said, is that today's topic is was based on competitive level exams. Okay, for the master's courses and the IPhD courses. So probably later in some other videos we can discuss what topics we should start research on. Research papers are something that is that depends on individuals. Okay, so I do research in algebraic K theory. People do research in, there are people who do research in harmonic analysis and many more. Okay, so it is an individual thing. Which institutes is best for applied maths? So I think the best institute, if you are interested in applied math, is TI for CAM, the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Center of Applied Mathematics. Okay, so then I think we have had a very good chat. Thank you for joining me as well in this live broadcast. Hopefully this was a good informative discussion as well. And stay safe. It's COVID period, and hopefully you will be able to get good ranks, and you will be able to get good ranks and able to clear multiple competitive exams. Okay, thank you and good night.